The power of repetition refers to the ability to repeat something over and over again to make it stick in our minds. Repetition is a fundamental component of human learning, and it plays a critical role in how we acquire and retain new information. Whether we are learning a new language, memorizing facts and figures, or for that matter, practicing a skill or Hanuman Chalisa, repetition helps to reinforce learning by strengthening the neural pathways in our brains. One of the primary reasons why repetition is so effective is because it helps to create new neural connections in the brain. Every time we learn something new, our brain forms new connections between neurons. However, these connections are initially weak and easily disrupted. By repeating the same information over and over again, we reinforce these connections and make them stronger. This is known as synaptic plasticity, and it is a key component of how our brains learn and grow. Another important factor that contributes to the power of repetition is the role of memory. When we encounter new information, it is initially stored in our short-term memory. However, unless we actively work to transfer that information into our long-term memory, it is likely to be forgotten quickly. Repetition helps to transfer information from our short-term memory to our long-term memory by strengthening the neural connections that are involved in the storage and retrieval of that information. In addition to reinforcing learning, repetition can also be used to improve performance and mastery. When we repeat a skill or concept, we are essentially practicing it. Through repetition, we can refine our technique, improve our speed and accuracy, and gain a deeper understanding of the underlying principles involved. This is particularly true when it comes to complex skills, such as playing an instrument or performing a dance routine. By practicing these skills over and over again, we can eventually achieve a state of mastery where the skill becomes automatic and effortless. Repetition can also be used to promote positive habits and behaviors. When we repeat a behavior over and over again, it becomes ingrained in our brains and becomes a habit. This is why it is important to repeat positive behaviors, such as exercise, healthy eating, and meditation, until they become habits. By doing so, we can create a positive feedback loop that reinforces these behaviors and makes them easier to maintain over the long term. However, it is important to note that repetition can also have negative effects. If we repeat negative thoughts or behaviors, they can become habits as well. For example, if we constantly tell ourselves that we are not good enough, this can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. Similarly, if we repeatedly engage in unhealthy behaviors, such as overeating or substance abuse, these behaviors can become entrenched in our brains and difficult to overcome. To use the power of repetition effectively, it is important to be mindful of what we are repeating to ourselves and others. By focusing on positive, constructive messages and behaviors, we can use repetition to reinforce learning, promote positive habits, and achieve our goals. Additionally, by being aware of negative thought patterns and behaviors, we can take steps to break these patterns and replace them with more positive ones. Another important aspect of the power of repetition is the role of context. When we repeat a concept or skill in different contexts, we can deepen our understanding and transfer that knowledge to new situations. For example, if we learn a new word in a textbook and then hear it used in a conversation, this can reinforce our understanding of the word and make it easier to remember in the future. By practicing skills and concepts in different settings, we can also develop a more flexible and adaptable approach to learning and problem solving. Repetition can also be used in combination with other effective learning strategies, such as spaced repetition and active recall. Spaced repetition involves repeating information at intervals that are spaced out over time, rather than repeating it all at once. This has been shown to be a highly effective way to improve long-term memory retention. Active recall involves actively retrieving information from memory rather than simply reviewing it. This is another effective learning strategy that can be used in combination with repetition to reinforce learning and improve memory. Overall, the power of repetition is a critical component of human learning and memory. By repeating information over and over again, we can strengthen the neural connections in our brains, transfer information from short-term to long-term memory, and improve our performance and mastery of skills and concepts. However, it is important to be mindful of what we are repeating and to use repetition in combination with other effective learning strategies to maximize its effectiveness. By doing so, we can harness the power of repetition to achieve our goals, improve our learning, and enhance our overall cognitive functioning. Happy learning!